Welcome to the podcast, The Colors of Womanhood. I'm your host, Chaya. The Colors of Womanhood aims to meet women exactly where they are, no matter the stage of life. As a woman who once was a girl, as a woman who transitioned from girlhood into young womanhood, marked by the onset of menstruation, as a woman who must stand up for herself and create her own path, as a woman who seeks to enjoy life, though it may not always be possible, as a woman who knows the complexities of motherhood, or perhaps doesn't, as a woman with children of her own, or a woman raising someone else's children, from a woman living in sub-Saharan Africa to one residing in France. The Colors of Womanhood tells the story of female health, women and their purpose, women and the importance of yoga in their lives. It explores women's unique relationship with their health, the influence of culture, and the deep connection women have with their inner selves. It invites women to reflect on what that connection means and the untapped potential they possess to fully embrace their health and womanhood. Welcome to the Colors of Womanhood. Today I'm joined by Sarah Smutney, mother, holistic guide, and founder of Simply in Balance. Known for a powerful gut health journey, Sarah shares how healing goes far beyond the physical. We speak about identity, motherhood, and the quiet strength it takes to stay rooted during life's tender moments. Having lived across 3 countries, Sarah offers a rich perspective on connection, resilience, and the balance we all seek. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
We're going to start with your gut health and healing. People who know you probably know a lot about it, but I just want to still see if we can get some other, other news out of you, other kind of insights, let's say. Your journey with gut health has inspired many. How did it shape your understanding of your body, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as a woman?
You mean how my gut health journey shaped that?
Yes.
So yeah, it basically kind of reconnected me with my intuition and my basically listening to my body, because before I always thought, in all these years, it started like when I was around 30, that I started to get bloated. I had this belly which looked like I was 6 months pregnant all the time, and I didn't know why. I was always tired, I was grumpy, I was super irritated easily, couldn't focus on anything. I was super unwell, puffiness in my face, water retention, lots of other symptoms, also endometriosis. And I always thought that all this is happening to me. So I was a victim. I saw myself as weak, because I'm also a twin. We were born 1 month earlier, and I always thought it's linked to that, because my sister had similar issues all the time. So we are just, weak, the both of us. We have all these issues, and so that's at least also what my family always said to us, And so I just saw myself as a victim of fate, basically. And once this other mother, because my gut health journey started once I was becoming a mother with my first son, Luca, with around 32. And then, when he was like 6 months old or something, it started. Another mother mentioned something about probiotics to me, because I was always tired, and she said, try this probiotics from this special shop here in Holland. I was living in Holland at the time. And that's how it started. I started taking these probiotics, and I don't know, it was like a switch on, basically, in my mind. I really felt a difference. Next to that, I took some vitamins for the hair loss, which my mother-in-law had given to me, quite good ones, where there was everything inside, all these different nutrients, which were good for the hair, but of course also for my body, because I was very depleted. So the probiotics plus this, I really felt different, and that sparked my interest. What's is this, and now happening in my body? And then I digged and digged. I started to make kefir, and that's how it all started. Really small steps, and then I realized, so I have control. I didn't yet have control, but I started to see a spark that I could take back control, let's say, and that was very powerful. This revelation to not be anymore a victim of fate, but basically that my body had the potential to heal himself again by just being supported in the right way. And it all started with the gut, and my mood changed. And then I started to realize that I was intolerant to gluten. Now I'm saying this in a nutshell, but it was of course a long process, often through somebody mentioning something, and I don't know, apparently it was important for me. And then it kind of just sparked something in me, and I digged further. And the gluten, removing gluten from my diet, that was very important for my gut healing. And that was really the biggest transformation, where really everything changed. And then, of course, many more things happened. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, that was basically giving me back power.
Mm-hmm. This is a big, quite a kind of intense period, right? And as when you enter your pregnancy, basically depleted and without, I don't know, how were you feeling becoming pregnant? Did that change already something to you as being a woman, or was it in a way a miserable pregnancy?
The beginning was quite miserable because I didn't feel it already. Although I was, I was not super young. I was 31. But I didn't feel ready emotionally at that time. And I didn't feel strong. As I said, I always felt weak. And I thought, me as a mother, like being like responsible for and caring for another being, I felt super overwhelmed by this thought, because I had the feeling I could not even care for myself, because I was, as I said, always not feeling well in my skin. And this thought of being a mother really overwhelmed me. But then once I had gone through the first 3 months, and I started, I saw the first echo, the real echo, not just where it's like a little warm, but where you see like a little, like a really little human there. My whole, my attachment was super strong, and there was no question anymore about wanting to be a mother of this little boy. But initially it was very difficult.
Yeah. And then you've mentioned now a few times weak. You mentioned it in such a way that I'm just wondering, did your parents call you weak, or did they say this is just part of you in terms of feeling depleted, not having a lot of energy, feeling tired?
No, it was just, it's not that my parents said you're weak.
No.
But they, let's say, nobody really took me serious about all my issues. And then as nobody took me serious, I started to kind of make my own story in my head. It's just me being like that. And, basically, I didn't take myself serious anymore then. After when everybody around you is gaslighting you, not, they didn't do it, of course, all the people around me with a bad intention, but the doctors, people around me, nobody really took it serious that I am feeling like this. About the belly, my mother-in-law said that's normal after a certain age. There's just a belly, and I was like, that's not normal. I'm thin like this, and I have this huge belly. That's not my body shape at all. So that's why I'm saying it's so important to listen to the science yourself. And for so many women out there, I mean, I'm working as a coach also with so many women. They don't listen to it, and they just numb it. I was strong enough to face it and to go through this, because it was a very difficult period. Changing my lifestyle, changing my diet. I got a lot of wind. How do you say that? Against me.
Pushback.
In German, you say, in Dutch, you say tegenwind.
Yeah, like pushback, right?
Pushbacks.
Yeah.
A lot of pushbacks. And then you have to have this mindset to go through it. And a lot of women don't have this. And that's why I found a lot of strength in myself in this period. A lot of, as you said in the beginning already, resilience. And that's so important.
Yeah. And then this journey basically started after you'd given birth to your first son.
Yeah.
So I mean, then you're obviously as well with connected to a baby, all the hormones are so well different and strong. Breastfeeding, were you breastfeeding?
Yeah, but only for 4 months, because then my production went down.
But I mean, if you indeed in that time as well start making changes as well. Okay, so
I didn't start this change directly when I was just when he was already like around 6 months or slightly older. Then I started. It was not directly during the pregnancy or just after the birth. When he was like just before getting a year or something. In this period, I had this awakening. How I call this.
But I think it's quite a beautiful period in a way to start it, right? Because you're in a way you would be getting back to your old body, whereas for you it was no, I'm not going back to that. I'm going to make a change, which has really kind of benefited you.
It was a transformation in all senses. But I also see now, comparing my second son, which I had 4.5 years later, where of course I had gone already through a lot of healing. His health is, compared to my first son, so much better. He doesn't have any allergies. He can digest all food, because my first son also has gluten and intolerance, and lots of things about his human immune system. It's getting better, but in his first years he had a lot of problems, and my second son, nothing at all. I'm sure that my gut microbiome had changed so radically, because you give as a mother your gut microbiome to your kid. So of course it's logical that his health is much better.
And obviously emotionally as well. I mean, it's what they say also in yoga. They talk about that a few months before even conception, is important. How you are, how your relationship is. And then obviously, I mean, there's a lot of information about that. How then indeed the state of the mother impacts the growth, the whole development of the baby, of the child. So it's in a way, I don't want to say kind of beautiful to see in that sense.
And also, of course, omega-3 levels, all of that.
Yeah. And I'm just curious, just in terms of your boys, because you eat a lot plant-based still, right? Are they the same? Or?
Not completely anymore. I started to introduce more animal products again back into my diet, since I'm almost 45 now. Still can't believe it myself. I feel a difference since I'm eating again eggs, sardines, sometimes fish, like different fish when at the restaurant, and this kind of moments. Sometimes I'm eating white meat like chicken or something like that, like once a week, kind of like that. We still very small quantities of meat, but I reintroduce it and I feel much better. Anyway, I started to eat or focus even more on protein. And for my kids, they just eat, let's say, very balanced. I don't restrict them on eating what they want, but of course they're eating also much more plant-based. Because as I'm cooking for everybody, then they eat what I eat, but they eat if they want to have a piece of cheese with it, because I don't eat dairy. Of course they have their cheese, and I don't great restrictions for my kids. But of course, it's much more wholesome. They eat a much more wholesome way.
Yes. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Can we just go a little bit back, because in a way, I mean, you've for a long time known that something that it wasn't right? How your body was, how you were feeling. There's a connection between the gut and intuition, which you already kind of mentioned a little bit at the beginning. Was it something kind of deeper down inside of you already that, like looking back, that you knew something was just not right? And how do you feel now? Now you've kind of recovered your gut health. Yeah, how do you live intuitively?
Well, there were many signs, now if I was my coach now and I would come to me, I was directly like, okay, we have to directly detox everything, the liver, gut. It would be clear, like 100% clear. There were so many signs, and I was always sick. I always had infections. Every 2 weeks, I had another infection. I remember, because I wanted to go jogging. That was my big goal. I wanted to start running, and I never had condition. After 5 kilometers, I was already out of breath. And then I would say, yeah, now I do it, 3 times a week. And then for 1 week, it was okay. And then I was sick again. Then I had to stop, because if you're sick, you should not do so much exercise. And then, that's why I remember that I was always sick, because it was annoying me a lot that I could not do my running routine. So yeah, that was a big sign. My immune system was just so unstable and weak. And but yeah, I didn't listen to the signs. And the doctors as well, not, because they didn't even mention anything about nutrition or gut health to me. So yeah, it was just, I always felt that there's more in life. That's what I remember, that at that age, when I was just already before just becoming 30, I thought I'm meant for more. I don't know, I had this kind of feeling in my gut again. I'm meant for more, and but I didn't know what it was, and that's why I also entered the depression. I had quite a period of depression, which was again, of course, linked to my gut health, because the gut is the second brain, and the endorphins are serotonin, especially, is created in the gut. So yeah, there were lots of signs, but I didn't really first listen to them all these years. And now I live very, very intuitively. Very like already in the morning, I ask myself what I'm in the mood of, and then I imagine the different foods options. Let's say porridge or bread with scrambled eggs, or I don't know, something like that. And then I imagine the different options, and I realize the pull or the resistance to one of them. And then I know already, okay, this is today good for me, because I can change. Also seasonally, it's not that I'm eating the same the whole year through. I'm living very much in sync with my cycle, with the seasons. And I live, much more listening to my energy levels and to my emotions. And that's very beautiful and empowering.
Yes. I think there's, I think recently, right? Maybe the last 2 or 3 years, I think you started to dive more, or kind of share more about these cyclical living and with the seasons, and indeed how the hormones right through the month. Is there something you would like to kind of say more about that? In terms of what you feel that why it's so important for women to
I started to live more, even more with in this way, because I started to interest myself much more for Ayurveda, and also for my dosha. I'm Vata dosha, by the way, the air dosha, and that way I learned much more about how I function, which foods are good for me, and Ayurveda is very linked to the seasons as well. So that kind of shifted a lot for me. And secretly living also found me through some channel, I don't know how, And I started to really feel the difference, since I didn't anymore try to live the same way every day in the month, and accept that the time around before and during the menstrual phase, let's say, is a phase of almost like winter, because you can call all the seasons basically the phases of our cycles is almost like the seasons in nature. And that's why seeing that as a winter phase and rest, nourishment. I'm drinking lots of stinging nettle tea in this moment, eating kale. Yeah, also now there's no kale in summer. Trying to eat lots of iron-rich foods and basically nurturing myself a lot in this, instead of like trying to force all the appointments, going to workouts. I'm just saying, no, it's winter time. I'm just resting and not pushing through, not forcing. And that's really changing a lot, because then in the rest of the month, it changes because I'm not depleted, after that. Because normally I would enter the rest of the month after the period depleted, because I had forced too much and not nourished myself enough. And now I'm like basically okay after, and then I can enter this different other phases afterwards, so much more, much more energy. So that was a big change. And I lost my red, line now, what I wanted to say. What was your question again? Can you just remember?
Yeah, just how you started the last few years, more indeed also kind of sharing about hormonal health, the phases, the season.
Yeah. So that was basically it. Yeah. So this kind of sparked something in me, and sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Human design was also a big one for me, because I worked a lot with human design, with my own human design. And that's, of course, I'm a generator in human design, and there's a lot about gut feeling. Really linked to my sacral gut feeling, and that, again, even made this much more deep, my relation to my gut feeling. And I'm reliving it fully, and it changed everything.
I can imagine, you just kind of decide how you obviously kind of respond to that. But I can imagine that the world around you doesn't necessarily appreciate, right? If you start probably living fully intuitively. Can you kind of say maybe kind of what kind of resistance comes up in people, or what, and also how that's for you, and how you can, I think there can be quite a lot of external pressure, and how can you really kind of stay connected to that?
There comes a lot of resistance, of course, and especially in the beginning. When I started to talk about, to my husband at the time about my human design, that was already like a completely different spheres for him. And when I started to say things like, I'm following my joy, I'm listening to my gut, my sacral, that was completely different dimension for people around me, especially my husband and people who are not, let's say, in the spiritual scene, or let's say not so open spiritually. So that can be challenging. That's why I would advise everybody who's feeling this kind of shifts to first stop talking so much about it, with especially people who already know that resistance will come, because it will only, if you're not strong enough, it will take you away this momentum. It's very difficult to hold against that. That's why maybe select one or two good friends where you know that they're open to it, or otherwise just write it in your journal, like talk it to the universe if you want to talk about it or write about it, like process it, I mean. But stop talking about it to your colleagues, to your husband, or people around you who are not at this vibration, because that will keep you taking steps back. I did a lot of steps back. That's why I'm saying that. But the drive was strong enough. But if the drive is not strong enough, it can also happen that you fall off the wagon and you start again and again.
And the other side, like the another scenario is as well that you kind of try, kind of push and pull a little bit, right? That you think there is a kind of space where you might be able to say something about that, but then again, the door closes. That's kind of hard work.
Yeah.
So,
yes, and then you start to doubt yourself.
Mm.
Especially, let's say you are in an environment with a lot of conventional doctors around you. I know some people who where there's in the friend circle a lot of conventional doctors, and of course, if you then share like about all these new ideas, then you get a lot of let's say sharp answers. Why your ideas is just like spaced off and not having foundations. And then it's easy to fall into doubts and self-doubts. So that's why but your intuition is so strong, and it always is right. It's always right. So listen to it.
And what do you feel what do you feel has brought you up to now? Since you really feel, because like, are we talking about a year? Are we talking about 5 years? Did you really feel that's kind of, that you're really living intuitively?
I would say the last 3 years. Yeah. Before, it was very much linked to ideas, paradigm, diets. I would say I had different phases, First, I was almost autorexic. You call that when you are obsessed with rules and food and let's say ingredients in food. I was almost kind of created an obsession, which was also not healthy at all, which annoyed people around me a lot because I was always talking about how much protein is in there, how much sugar, and always trying to teach other people around me that they should also eat like that. And I was in this kind of knowing better mode, let's say. And then I started to more in this experimentation mode, and then I was in a very restrictive vegan mode, and now I'm in a intuitive, self-loving, nurturing mode, and I hope I just stay in this one. But you have to accept also these phases. You don't jump from one directly to the perfect balanced state. Especially when I was in this obsessive mode in the beginning, I got a lot of resistance. Everybody told me you're not the same anymore, you're too thin, because I left everything away and didn't know how to replace it. And but I knew it was still the right way, of course. Then as I said, then I went into the experimentation mode, and then I learned in the learning mode as well. Of course, also when I did my gut health and nutrition studies, I learned how to properly replace proteins if you don't eat, for example, animal protein. It's a lot of phases you go through, and for me it was 10 years process.
And it's a 10-year process as well with having 2 children from baby growing up. What would be your advice to a woman who's, let's say, silently living with chronic digestive issues and knows and feels that she's not being heard, misunderstood?
To get help from somebody. First of all, buy lots of books and learn. Like, get the expert of how the body works. Basically, not necessarily books about very restrictive diets. More really about the Ayurveda, gut health, liver, liver detox, more like the global, to learn how this all influences your skin, your metabolism. So learning a lot, that I would suggest, so that you're not anymore dependent of the conventional medicine system. Although I don't want to say anything bad, there's really good doctors and they're saving lives every day. But the system is not yet good in prevention, let's say like this. And yeah, so that super important. And basically getting help from a very good nutritionist, coach, or people around you who have done the same journey or similar journey, because it will. You can also do it alone. I did it all alone, but it took me, of course, 10 years. But if you want to make the process shorter and without so many setbacks, then it helps to have somebody guide you. So, or be in a group with other people who have similar issues. So yeah, basically find support in whatever community and support. Basically, these two things. So important to see that you're not alone. That's so important, because if you see the others, you hear their stories, plus, or you have somebody guiding you, then you feel, that you're not making this up. Basically, there's truth behind this.
Okay, and they obviously can also come to you, right? Because you offer coaching as well, right?
Yeah, they can.
Great. We're going to kind of go slightly into a different topic, which is more in a way about relationships. How do you recognize when you're being deeply seen by another, and how do you offer that to someone else?
So basically, how I offer that to some. I think this is one of my gifts, especially in the last years, since I basically, because with all this journey, my I got much more intuitive, not only about my food but also about other people. About basically my vibration went higher, much higher, and I have this developed, or basically I always had maybe this gift, but it kind of awakened that I see already in people their true potential, and basically I see who they really are behind all these masks and limiting beliefs and all these layers. I see their real essence. The essence, that's the word. And that, and recently in some encounters I had, I felt that again with myself as well, like being seen, and it's honestly the most powerful feeling to be seen. And so many women, I think, are longing for this.
Do you hear that in terms of the women you speak with, or you kind of, it's a general kind of sense from what is all happening in the world? Or
I hear that, and I also, in my recent I think 2 weeks ago, I made an Instagram story on my Instagram channel where I asked, what they're most dreaming of. Is it being yourself, being 100% yourself, and some other things, being more balanced, or I don't know. I gave some. It was a poll, with different options, and almost everyone, because my followers are mostly women, was selecting being completely 100% myself. And then in the second question, I asked, is this something already, do you think it's realistic for you at the moment? And most of them didn't have this now, being not the reality at the moment. So, and also in my talks with my clients, with friends, it's really a big topic for women, including myself, to be. And I'm still on the journey, to become 100% myself, because I also have a lot of masks, still limiting the beliefs. I'm not. I'm also in the process still, and it's so powerful when you are super authentic and just be you, and that's very magnetic.
But it's
Yeah.
interesting, right? To because if you think of it, you know, if you're asking to be 100% yourself, you know, that's self. You know, it's not. In a way, well, obviously it depends, right, on what kind of practices you might be doing. But I think it's quite, in a way, difficult as well to really, you know, see and understand what that self is, because indeed there are so many layers. But you know, from yoga, you've got obviously all the different kind of perspectives on that, and there might be more a version as well of how you would like to see yourself. And also, but it's, you know, it's a very important question, I think. And then also, indeed, when you do realize that, I think you start seeing as well what is preventing you, whether that's internally or externally or both.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big. It really involves a lot of healing and facing all your darkness, basically, and trauma. Yeah, I went in all these years through so much healing, theta healing, working with shamans, lots of work on retreats. Yeah, I went really deep.
And in that, sorry.
No, and then you start seeing this essence. But often we are numbed by all these, by all these layers, and we don't even feel it anymore. We don't know who do I want to be? Who, it's not that it comes like that. You know, that's who I want to be. You have to peel off, you know, the shaman. And one of these last session, I remember he said, it's like an onion. You have to peel first all the layers off, and it takes a lot of time. And while you peeled off 2 layers, 3 other layers come on the onion, and that's why it takes sometimes years. With me, as I said, 10 years until you get to the core
or life.
So I think it's a very powerful image.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's and that if you're talking about that onion, I use that a lot in my yoga as well. I mean, you're also talking about, for instance, the chakras is one system, right? I mean, there are probably more different systems as well that talk about that. And I mean, let's say in terms of chakras, I think many people kind of have this idea that they're in, let's say, more in the kind of spiritual chakras, whereas I mean, it's what you're saying with the onion. If you've got already a few layers off, the new layers coming. I mean, you can be very deep in particular practices, but all of a sudden, one of your parents dies. I mean, then it goes. You know, it's an ongoing interaction.
Yes,
that's life.
Yeah, because you have also external influences a lot, you know, in life, or a job or whatever it is. And for me, it was not recently, it was 2 years ago that I lost a good friendship. Now I know why it was good, actually, but at that time it was, of course, it's really hard, you know, these moments. And but yeah, now I have this really powerful saying, or I say to myself when something like these, let's say, hard moments arise, I always say, thank you. And basically, thank you to the universe for guiding me. Let's say a job doesn't work out, or I don't know, a retreat is canceled, or I don't know, a client doesn't want to work with me anymore. It didn't happen, but I mean, like this kind of examples. Or friendship stops. Thank you. And this gives so much empowerment, honestly. And this changed everything for me, because it happens for you. Everything happens for you. Even my gut health issues happened for me. And now I can see that. And if you change this mindset, I'm getting the shivers from that. It really changes how you see life.
It's in one other conversation I've had with someone. She said, you know, women should be out of the victim role in many different ways. You know, in terms of what has happened historically, because I mean, there's a lot happening now as well, which is important. And I think that, you know, with new knowledge as well coming in, which might actually go back, you know, to years ago. It's indeed important to make that kind of mindset shift. and
Yeah.
it's you need to realize it, but not stay in it. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it, and then
Because
Yeah.
I mean, you do need to see it. Otherwise, I think you're also
That's the
missing
thing.
one step.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
Yeah. And also face the emotions coming up. It's not that I, of course, I also cry and I have really deep emotions. Not that I'm saying with everything, oh, good, thank you. Of course, it's the first thing to say, thank you. But then, of course, you process also everything which comes with it. We are all humans, we are not robots or something.
Yeah. And it can be a thank
But
you while you're
it
crying.
takes you away from the victim. Takes you away from the victim mode.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how do you feel that community, well, you did mention, with the advice to other women to find community or maybe sisterhood, and how has that been for you when you're going through different challenges in your life, difficult times? I mean, you've got a twin sister as well, right? So it might even start there, literally, in terms of sisterhood.
Yeah, that's
I mean, the
very
twin
important.
connection is always, very important.
She's over my rock, basically, and she's not judging. We have a really deep connection, and that's priceless, honestly. And but also very old and very good friendships. Yeah, it's so important to nurture them, but also, when something is unaligned, let these people go. That's so important because when you kind of hold on relationships which are toxic in a way because you cannot be yourself, let's say, it prevents you from evolving. That's why on the one hand, finding the right community means also letting go the wrong people and saying no. I'm saying that so often to my clients. The most important thing to learn is saying no, but in a nice way, of course. And then with this comes to saying yes to the right situation. And the most important thing is following this inner joy, and because that leads to these right communities, to the right opportunities, to the right people, and I don't actually know anymore how I found my tribe. It just found me, basically. But I let a lot of people go in the last years, and I think it's the first step to take, because if you are basically having toxic influences all the time, you basically prevents you to find this real tribe which is aligned with you. So basically, you send a message to the universe by saying no to what you don't want. I don't know if it was clear enough, but yeah, that's basically what happened to me, and what I advise people around me and to my clients.
I just want to make one comment, just to kind of maybe rephrase something. As you say, for someone, the wrong people, let's maybe say not the right people for them, right?
Underline.
Because people are not wrong, right?
Yeah. Okay, that was a wrong way of wording it. Unaligned. People unaligned to your current energy or to your where you want to be, who you want to become.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
just kind of now comes into my head, because I know you've been practicing Kundalini yoga. Yeah. Are you still practicing that?
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of
really
shift?
super intensively, but I have my morning ritual, which takes around 10 minutes, and that's what I mostly do. And I'm not in anything. I'm not excessive. I'm not somebody who's making a 1 hour practice every morning, like getting up at 5 and doing these things. For somebody else, it might be good, but for me, it doesn't work for my system. It's I need my my sleep, and I just follow my rhythm. And these 10 minutes are really shifting everything. And I really love this this kriya. It's with Kundalini, you have these kriyas for somebody who doesn't know. And the kriya I'm doing is basically kind of glow kriya, which kind of creates inner glow. And yeah, it's very beautiful.
Mm. Mm. Good.
Yeah.
What? Okay, let's from there kind of dive a little bit into how you've been living in different countries. You lived in 3
Okay.
countries, right? You were born in Germany, you lived in the Netherlands, and you're now living in France.
Yeah, but also in Italy. I lived also in Italy.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Italy you lived as well, yeah. So
Yeah.
can you say something about like how have maybe kind of different cultures influenced you as a woman? I mean, it's obviously in Europe, but I mean in Europe the countries are so different, obviously. Is there something that you really remember that kind of changed something for you as a woman, or how you were seen as a woman, or something that you didn't know as a woman? And maybe a mother.
I just I find what inspired me a lot since I came to France, because in Holland it's a lot about I don't know, it's not negative or anything, but I didn't really discover so much my femininity when I was living in Holland.
Mhm.
And or at least I didn't live it. Everything practical. I had always sneakers on. It's not that I'm wearing high heels now, but since I'm in France, I dress much more feminine, and of course still with a cool touch, let's say. But let's say myself, I'm dressing much more like individual, like my own style. That's something that changed since I'm in France. And also the mothers inspired me a lot, the motherhood in France. First, I was a lot judging it, honestly, because I was used to, so much to the Dutch style, and also influenced by the German motherhood style. The Germans, not all the Germans, but a lot of women I knew from Germany, and mothers almost giving themselves up for the kids, like it's a big project, and basically also often, not really living their feminine side so much, basically being mothers and very practical, and living for the children. I don't want to say that all German mothers are like this, but a lot of people or mothers I know from Germany. And in Holland, I experienced that most mothers are working part-time, like basically also identifying a lot through being just it sounds like a negative, but I don't know how to say it differently, a mother. And since I came here, I really awakened to live my own life, being Sarah again as well. And I saw like how French mothers, it's of course other let's say not excessive, but how do you say the other end of the spectrum. They're working full time. Kids are taking from the NU from school. The kids are at school full time, and the other side of the spectrum. But I was first judging that, like they don't have time with their children, they don't want to spend time with their children, and bad mothers. I had this kind of the first year I was here, this impression. And then I thought, like, actually, I saw that, that they're still good mothers, even if they don't see their kids all day, they're having great weekends, beautiful moments in the evening with them. The kids are happy. I saw like, there's just different ways of doing motherhood. That's what I actually realized. And everybody is different. And, and the most important is to find your way. And that's basically the revelation I had then after being here now for 6 years in France. And now I do my way of being a mother, and that's very beautiful, and I love it.
What is your way?
And at the moment I'm also becoming a single mother, something very new to me, and yes, and I feel that a whole new world is opening up to me. And again, I'm listening to my intuition, and I feel that then this new chapter is opening for me. And that it's a happy mother. That's really something. There's a saying, and it's so true. Happy mother, happy children, and it doesn't lead to anywhere to give yourself up for your children, because children feel your vibration. And I recently had a talk with my youngest son, and he said he feels that I'm different now, and that he likes this new version of me, and it comes with hard decisions. And that's something I learned, and I give also now to other women, to not want stopping to give up yourself for your kids, of course, until a certain limit. There's also selfishness. There's two spectrums, but find this middle way where you still stay you, and you follow your own joy as well. It's so important, because only then you can nourish others. It's the same like in the airplane, where you first put the mask on yourself before to your kid. It's the same in life. Yeah, you have to find this balance, and the kids profit from this at the end, when we are nourished.
I think this is actually a really beautiful ending to the conversation.
Yeah.
If there's anything needed to add to it, and I think it's important to to really send you lots of love, because it's a difficult and a different phase, obviously, that you're going through, and it won't be easy.
No.
But you've got everything inside you to navigate that.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you so much for this conversation. Is there anything that you feel you would like to kind of still say to women, in particularly listening, in terms of how they might be able to get in touch with you, or what you're really offering as well to people in terms of gut health, or maybe, I don't know if that's changed as well into other different types of coaching?
So first of all, when you feel like it's always real what you're feeling, and if you feel this nudging every single day for a long time, you need to listen to it, and not ignore it. It's always your soul speaking to you, because what also a shaman said to me a few years ago, the body is always the last stage your soul gets in contact with you. If you don't listen, the body is the last stage. And if you get issues, chronic issues especially, it's always your soul speaking to you and saying, wake up. So that's why that's so important to listen to that. And you can get in touch through my Instagram, Sarah Smutney. It's also, I guess you put it in the show notes. And also on my website, Simply in Balance. I also work with human design and connecting Ayurveda, the Ayurvedic dosha, with your human design, and basically looking with you what is your essence and how you best operate, how you best get into your energy. We can do a session, we can sever a session. Everything is open. Just get in touch, and we can do a first free call where we just connect, and I can see what I can do for you.
That's a beautiful combination, the doshas, Ayurveda, and human design.
It's very individual.
Yes, it's really beautiful. Okay, well, thank you so much for this conversation, Sarah, and just for the listeners. I mean, it's a story which is really a beautiful reminder that healing is layered, and that womanhood is
the onion. Such a good picture.
Yes, and that womanhood is not only shaped by joy, but also by how we navigate the hard moments.
Thank you for joining us on the Colors of Womanhood. Whether you found a piece of yourself in today's story, or it opened a new perspective, I hope it reminded you that your path, in all its colors, is valid, sacred, and worth honoring. If you're curious to explore your energy levels and reconnect with your inner energetic potential, I invite you to download Energize In, a free resource designed to give you a gentle yet powerful taster of what's possible when you tune into your feminine vitality. You'll find the link in the show notes. If this episode moved you, feel free to share it with a sister, a friend, or someone navigating their own womanhood. And if you feel called, leave a review or message. I love hearing what resonates. Until next time, keep listening to your body, nurturing your spirit, and embracing the full spectrum of your womanhood wherever you are in the world.